Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to whoever you are in the world. This is the last little clip from our friends down in Florida about banking. Now, he's going to take this to the small claims court, but unfortunately, we don't have that type of court in Australia. In fact, we have no courts at all. We have banks. Well, I call it the state bank. Remember, you see in some of the other videos, if you watch them, if you're not too lazy, you'll find out there is no law. There is no, there's nothing, just commerce. It's all money, money, money. How to rip it off. So watch this video, enjoy it. I hope you do. At the end of the video, there's all this information how you can help. And don't hesitate to contact us if you can, if you need something, especially to do with somebody causing you harm, loss, or injury to the common law court. We're getting there. And soon we'll have some financial backing. Anyway, London News wishing you all a very happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Catch you all again soon, I hope. Bye for now.
What's up, guys? I want to lighten the mood and kind of share with the state nationals and the Florida We the People what I've been studying in relation to the standard banking procedure and the administrative process. You know, David sparked a fire inside me with the 7230-1510 Judgment Day. And I just want to give you guys a little teaser on how far I've gotten, what I'm using in relation to mimicking that to discharge my own debt. So I want to be able to help state nationals discharge their own debt, okay? I think that's going to be a great way to get people to come in, jump ship, and actually correct their status, because the only reason I understand how to do this is because of all that knowledge from David and understanding the SESTA-QV trust and becoming the executor and beneficiary, autographs, and all that good stuff. So check it out. I'm going to try to do this quick, and I want you guys to understand that this is my step-by-step process that I'm using so far, and if it works out with my truck, all you guys are going to know, and we're going to start replicating this as a team, all right? Number one, debt validation request. I have awesome debt validation request templates that I've gotten all over the internet. I scoured the internet forever to get them. The first thing I'm going to send them, and I'm going to give them 15 days to validate the debt. And I've got a bunch of good stuff in there about what they have to do to perform to validate the debt for me. Please validate this debt. I'm not denying it. I'm not disputing it. But if I would like you to validate it, and then upon your validation, I will accept it. You know, some people use forensic evidence analysis, and I found some defects. They have different verbiage on all kinds of things, but just remember, you're looking for a solid debt validation request for your first letter. And in there, you want to make sure that they know that if they validate this debt, that you're going to pay using one of the lawful remedies that we've been given via House Joint Resolution 192, UCC 3-603, 3-604. So if they validate it, you're going to be like, oh, okay, it's been validated. So then you're going to accept it. You're going to accept it for value and pay them using a negotiable instrument or a promissory note. They're probably not going to validate the debt if you send a really good debt validation request and you know that they didn't really loan you money. So if this is good and powerful, they're not going to respond. That's a good thing. That leads me into my next step. They have not performed. I've tried to put them in contract with me and try to get them performed, but they didn't. They didn't even respond. That's great. I wait my 15 days, all right? I found some defects. They didn't validate the debt, and I waited my 15 days. I got nothing, no response, okay? Next thing I'm going to send to their next presentment, they'll probably send you another presentment. And if they don't, you just keep that original presentment or a copy thereof going to them. I'm going to send them a conditional acceptance. The next thing I'm going to send, because they didn't validate it, all right, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to try to be the good person here. I'm going to conditionally accept this debt upon you fixing this. This is called a conditional acceptance. It's really important. This is the part of my next step. I send a conditional acceptance. Conditional acceptance letters are all over the internet. They're getting huge right now, thanks to Chris Hauser, but I was already interested in them. I already had templates. Get out there, find them, and I'll teach you how to use them or tell you if they're any good. You want a good conditional acceptance, meaning I accept this debt upon the conditions that you validate these other things or verify a few things, and you fix the defects that I found, okay? They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it again. They're going to send you another presentment in probably 30 days, and that's it. And so you give them 30 days. If they don't go 30 days, you know, and they don't send you anything, what they're doing is you're literally, by them not responding, putting them in your banking procedure. And so my next presentment after 30 days is going to be a notice of fault and opportunity to cure. That's my third notice I'm sending to them, okay? I'm using my standard banking procedure. I'm in the administrative process when I get to these guys right here. Conditional acceptance, okay? Notice of fault and opportunity to cure. I gave them 30 days and I accepted that debt and they didn't respond. They're not responding. The reason they're not responding because they know they didn't lend you money. And I have templates that ask them to show me their generally accepted accounting practices, GAAP, I believe it's called. So I want to make sure that they really did loan me money, or they gave me their line of credit, which they didn't. And we know that because of what we learned through David. So they can't prove it, so they're not going to respond. So you're going to send them the third letter, which is a notice of fault and opportunity to cure. It's going to be very similar, okay? At this point, you're going to give them one more chance. You're trying desperately to get them to cure this debt, to settle this matter or validate it. It's another try. You're getting them, hey, I'm going to give you guys 15 days, to cure this, but that's it. You got 15 days. It's very similar to these two. Notice of fault and opportunity to cure. They've got these templates out there. I scoured the internet for a long time to find them and to pick my favorite ones out, and I've developed my own, okay? So I've sent them a conditional acceptance, then I sent them a notice of fault and opportunity to cure after those 30 days. And after 15 days, I'm going to send them what's called, they won't respond again, by the way. I'm going to send them a notice of default, okay, estoppel and dishonor. And so within my notice of default and estoppel, it's letting them know, okay, you're done. You didn't respond. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. You didn't cure. Do not send me anything else. Do not send me any more presentments. But send them an invoice, a $1,000 invoice. According to the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act, there's a $1,000 invoice you can charge them for not validating that debt that they kept sending you in the mail, okay? So they didn't validate it when you're just trying to send a legal affidavit, hey, validate this debt, I accept this debt if you can just verify it for me. If they don't do that, you can actually send them an invoice with your notice of default for $1,000. So I got notice of default, estoppel, dishonor, plus invoice. That's this $1,000 invoice. Look it up. You got to find it. I think it's $16.92. I can't remember it, but I've got it written down over here. There's $1,000, okay? You're lawfully allowed to charge them this because they sent you these presentments that weren't true, okay? That they haven't validated. And so you've got this invoice that is lawful attached to the bottom of your notice of default, estoppel, and dishonor. These templates are out there. I've found them. I have my own. I'm developing my own, making them better. I'm winging it right now. Hopefully we're killing it. We don't know yet. Because this last step in my 1, 2, 3, 4-step administrative process, which is what I call this process right here. This is all standard banking procedure in general, but my administrative process is 1, 2, 3, 4. My fourth letter after this 30 days, your estoppel and dishonor notice, they're not going to give you that $1,000. After that 30 days, I'm sending them what's called a notice of pending suit. I know we're getting ready to send it for my truck. I'm nervous, my wife's nervous, but we're going for it because I've been studying so much, all right? So we're going to send them a notice of pending suit. And so what we're trying to do is we're saying, hey, we're sending you this notice of pending suit. Please settle this matter out. We want to settle this out of court. We just want to discharge this debt and settle this matter and not have to take it to court. They're not going to respond. They haven't responded yet. I'm sending it to the CFO in his private capacity, and I'm sending it as a free state national in my private capacity, all right, as the executor and beneficiary. The way I'm filling these things out is powerful. Notice of pending suit. I really mean that. This is what's going to happen. If they don't settle this, I am going to take them to a small claims court, all right? But I give them 10 days, okay, to settle this matter. They most likely will not respond, okay? And if they do, they're going to try to trip you up and trap you, and it's not going to work. Stick to your process. If they're not discharging or settling or giving you all the validation for this stuff, and if they do somehow scramble and figure it out, just send them a negotiable instrument or a promissory note, the remittance coupon at the bottom of the credit card, or send them the quarter negotiable instrument. Learn your negotiable instruments in finance and be as good at it as Bonnie is. Send your negotiable instrument or promissory note if they can pull any of this off. They're not. They don't care. They think you're going to screw up and give up. After that notice of pending suit, you give them 10 days to settle. They're not going to respond. 9.99999 times out of 10, they're not going to respond. That's when you got to enforce it. Here's a real big step. All right, you've done all this. So say it's a $5,000 credit card or $30,000 truck. You're looking at what, 60 something days, 30 days, 15. All right, 90 days. Yeah, so about 90 days, you're ready to enforce. You're going to go to a small claims court. You're going to take them to small claims court for that $1,000. Remember, you can't have this big claim going on. Don't do that. Don't do that. The judge isn't going to like it. They're going to know what you're doing. So go for that $1,000 because it's lawful. That was the FDCPA, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. You've got that $1,000 invoice is lawful, and you've got it written down, whatever the number is for this code. I can't remember it. In your letters. So you're bringing this lawful invoice and charge that they didn't respond to. You had a great standard banking procedure with your return receipts, and you're going to put it into this case as, evidence, file it into the case. And when you show up for that small claims case, ask for a summary judgment for that $1,000 and to get that debt to zero. That $1,000 is all you're trying to get from the judge. Judge, I don't know what's going on. I tried to get them to validate this debt. They couldn't validate it in any way, shape, or form. This is absolutely nuts. I did a forensic evidence analysis and found some defects, and they could not, well, if you know what the defects are like we do, and they could not come up with them, and they didn't respond. So I went ahead and sent them a conditional acceptance. And I would have accepted it if they could still validate and verify it. And then I sent, and I gave them 30 days, nothing. They just sent me another presentment that I didn't even know was valid or not. So then I sent them a notice of fault, opportunity cure. Lay it out for the judge exactly what you did on the table. Ask for that summary judgment so that judge doesn't even have to bring them in because the judge already knew that they didn't respond, and you have a lawful invoice in front of them, so that judge doesn't have any reason to call them in, okay? There's no reason for this judge to call them in. This is how all these people do this. And the judge is like, all right, standard banking procedure. That's what they do to us. That's what they're doing to my friends. That's what they've done to me. That's what they've done to other state nationals. This is what they do to us, but we should be doing that to them when we know we're the executors and beneficiaries and how to be that. So, again, get that summary judgment from that judge and ask that judge to set the debt to zero. Discharge the debt and set it to zero. And when you have that judgment, send it back to them. Send it to their legal team or send it to their billing, customer service. Send it to, of course, the CFO and their private, and make sure that they know that you did this, and then go get your title for your vehicle or call it a day and repeat the process. Rinse and repeat, guys. This is my gift to you guys. This is my process that I'm perfecting and working on right now. Let's do this. Let's get really good. I want to see you guys as templates and affidavits someday. Peace.